This was a long-standing effort by small brewers and family-owned businesses who wanted to grow larger and who saw their ability to do so limited by the three-tiered system of the state alcohol process, in which you have producers, you have distributors, and then you have retailers. And in the case of North Carolina, there was a very hard cap placed on the brewers as to how much they could brew before they had to go to a middleman distributor to then sell their beer. And there were brewers that were growing to that cap limit, wanted to grow more, but weren't able to because of the cap limit, and we can get into some of the details of that.
Tell us about the change that has now taken place in the law so that some of those mid-level brewers have more freedom to make decisions and to control what happens with their product.
Right. A cap of 25,000 barrels a year existed before this law was signed. That means you could brew 25,000 barrels of beer and distribute all of that yourself without having to go through a middleman. So you would have to actually buy the trucks, hire the sales staff, handle the warehousing, all that sort of stuff yourself. If you got to 25,001 barrels, you had to distribute every barrel, every drop of beer through a third-party middleman. And this new law, raises the cap on self-distribution from 25,000 to 50,000, and you can now brew up to 100,000 barrels of beer and distribute the first 50,000 yourself. And why is this important? Well, there are a number of brewers who say, we want total control over our product. We want to make sure that it's refrigerated properly, it's stored properly, it arrives fresh. If our customer has a problem with it, we're right there to take care of it. We don't have to wait for some middleman to come in and maybe deal with it or maybe not. And so that was the issue for them. And then also there was the issue of things like shelf space on grocery stores and things like that. When you're dealing with the distributor who may have 100 labels in his inventory, how do you know that your product is going to get good shelf space when instead, if you're dealing directly with the retailers you want to deal with, you can make sure that you get good space?